Smartphone wars are transparently branding competitions. In terms of basic functions, there isn't a night and day difference between the major providers, so they're left trying to distinguish themselves and make themselves desirable. In terms of reputation, the intangible feeling people have about one or another product. The Samsung Galaxy 3 brands well. Competing with Apple's iPhone in the marketplace, Samsung's next big mobile phone is already here. Advertisement is notable for what it does do, and for what it doesn't. First, the ad cleverly ridicules Apple as geeky and, much worse, the choice of old people, those in their mid-50s. Between the stabs, Samsung customers are portrayed as smart, attractive and down-to-earth. In the commercial, iPhone users begin suspecting that they'd rather be hanging out with Samsung people, they'd rather be cool like them, and smart like them, and cutting-edge like them, and, probably, they'd rather dress like them too. What's not very clear from the ad, however, is exactly what has drawn the cool people to the Samsung product. Yes, there are brief references to easy video sharing and the Galaxy 3's big screen, but little more. In terms of basic facts and certainties, the ad doesn't do much to show why you should want a Samsung more than the phone you have now. It does, however, create the sense that people do want it, and you want to be like them. Overall, Samsung's spot is disarming because it's humorous, and it's also sharp because its alchemy creates desirability. Finally, the ad is also very effective. It has about 18 million hits on YouTube. That's a lot of views by people who choose to use their own time to watch, enjoy and absorb the message about what they're supposed to want.
Hey, they're saying that this phone's going to be like a precious jewel.
Ooh, I love that.
The headphone jack is going to be on the bottom.
I heard the connector is all digital.
What?
What does that even mean?
Who knows? I'm psyched.
All I'm saying is that they should have a priority line for people who've waited 5 times.
I heard you have to have an adapter to use the dock on the new one.
Yeah, but they make the coolest adapters.
Welcome back.
Guess that Galaxy S3 didn't work out.
No, I love the GS3. It's extremely awesome. I'm just saving a spot in line for someone.
That's not cool.
Yeah, man.
This year, we're finally getting everything that we didn't get last year.
Yeah.
The big screen.
True 4G.
Yep. What is that?
Hey, what'd you just do?
Oh, I just sent him a playlist.
By touching phones?
Yep. Simple as that.
It's the Galaxy S3.
Hey!
Hey, Mom, Dad.
Oh, thanks for holding our spot.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey.
How's it going?
Saved you a spot.
I moved on.
But you're not gonna miss all this?
I got the Samsung GS3 now.
Is that a Samsung?
That's a new Samsung. It is. It's pretty cool.
But I kind of like it.
This one's 4G.
Yeah, we've had that for a while.
This one's got a big screen.
This one has a bigger one. And we can share videos instantly. You can watch a video while you're sending an email.
Well, we're gonna get that, for sure. Maybe not this time, but the next time, right?
The next big thing is already here, the Samsung Galaxy S3.
The contrast is severe with the more cell phones than toilets video. The 75 seconds, which feel like 5 minutes, starts out with the number 7,074,460,207, the world population. More stiff facts pile up, inevitably buttressed by reference to one or another respected and global authority, the United Nations, the Guardian newspaper, the World Bank. On it goes. We're told that 6 billion people in the world have cell phones, and only 4.5 billion have toilets. The United Nations considers this circumstance dire as the lack of proper sanitation leads to disease and infection. Disease related to poor sanitation is the #1 killer of children in Africa. Because of poor sanitation, India loses over $50 billion annually. At current rates, it could take over 200 years to reach acceptable water and sanitation levels. So, lack of toilets has human costs and economic costs, and little progress is being made. It's an important message by any measure. Real human suffering happens, and real economic benefits are lost because not enough money is being invested in sanitation. As of today, the important video message has racked up 21 views.
Of the 7 billion people in the world, 6 billion have cell phones. Only 4.5 billion people on the planet have toilets available. The United Nations considers this circumstance dire as the lack of proper sanitation leads to disease and infection. While the UN's initial goal was to reduce this number in half by 2015, the more likely date for its realization is 2026. According to the NGO WaterAid, meeting the 2015 goal could save up to 400,000 children's lives. Disease related to poor sanitation is the #1 killer of children in Africa. Better conditions could also boost economies. Research on the subject shows that health problems resulting from poor sanitations have a significant impact on a country's gross domestic product. Among the repercussions are costs incurred because of premature death, decreases in industry and tourism, and productivity. For example, a 2011 World Bank study estimates that India loses over $50 billion annually. Henry Northover, WaterAid's head of policy, said that at the current rate of progress, it could take over 200 years to reach acceptable water and sanitation levels on the African continent.
On the mobile phone front, by contrast, quite a bit of progress is being made. Driven by profits and seductive branding campaigns, they're spreading fast. Statistics accumulated by one compiler in India can be portrayed as a hockey stick graph. From about 1990 to 2005 there were more toilets than mobile phones in India, and the growth in toilets succeeded the phone expansion. Then things change. Over the next 5 years, mobile penetration exploded upward, passing toilets in terms of numbers and blowing past them in terms of growth. As it happens, the phone-toilet imbalance is a worldwide problem, but it's especially acute in India for this reason. According to the World Health Organization and UNICEF, India has more than twice the number of people who lack clean toilet facilities than the next 18 countries combined. This isn't the place to carefully analyze world marketing practices, but it wouldn't be surprising if companies like Samsung were bringing intelligent mobile phone branding campaigns to places including India. Questions. 1. A viewer of the two advertisements, the next big thing, and more cell phones than toilets, may very well come away with the sense that they should want, and do actually, want a mobile phone more than good sanitation. Make the case that there's something wrong with the kind of advertising that creates that conclusion. How could the Samsung company respond in ethical terms? 2. Does the branding that creates desires for consumers in India violate their basic human rights, or support them? Explain. 3. Can you make the case that people are better off with phones than toilets? Even if you can't, and you live in India, is it sufficient to make people believe that they're better off with a phone than a latrine? 4. There's a clear difference between branding advertisements, Samsung, that use sophisticated psychological insights with skillful video production, and informational ads, more phones than toilets, that clunk along with facts and figures. Is one inherently more ethically acceptable than the other? Explain. 5. Consumerism is the idea that your purchases don't reflect who you are, instead, they are you, they incarnate your identity and aspirations. From this perspective, it's not that consumers in India are the kind of people who prefer phones to toilets, it's that because they're investing their money in phones and not toilets, they become that kind of people. In this dynamic, is brand advertising like Samsung's liberating and ethically noble, or restricting and ethically reprehensible? 6. In his Republic, Plato argued that poetry, by which he may have meant the video of his time, fictional writings and theater, should be banned because it creates ideas in the citizenry that aren't true. Could the same thing be said about the kind of branding advertising that creates desires, like the desire for smartphones? Should branding ads be banned? 7. Maybe it's Plato that should be banned. Make the ethical case that informational advertising should be prohibited, and all advertising should be about creating desires in consumers.